Hi folks, and welcome back to my top 100 board games of all time. Folks, we are now going into number 40, and at number 40 is an excellent queen game called Liguria. In Liguria, you are basically sailing around to these islands, claiming those islands and getting paint cubes off those islands or off other people's docks and delivering them to your dock, where you will hopefully be supplying contracts, or fulfilling contracts I should say, with those paint cubes for some big victory points. Now this game has a lot going for it because there is a bidding round that's going to go on. You're trying to jockey for going first in a round. However, when you go first, you may not be getting the most tiles off of what's available. The one going last is going to get way more tiles than you, but going first matters because you get to pick what card you want to do. And the cards can be very powerful or very weak. Weak cards will give you bonus, I don't know what it's called, prestige. Powerful cards give you shame. And you have to make sure you balance that out, because for every negative point you are under, you're going to lose like 5 victory points, which is really bad. But the game is really awesome. It does not look very good. If you just look at it, you're like, okay, it's just a bunch of islands and some flat, awful looking, ships. But it is so much fun. It is the kind of prequel to another queen game called Fresco. And it has the same pieces and the same kind of meeples too, but it is so much fun. I absolutely love this game. I think the last time we played this game, my nephew was the only one to bring his ship back home and collected a ton of paint cubes and fulfilled several contracts to win the game. Now, that's not the only way to win the game, but it's a big way to win the game. You're also placing these tiles on your board and getting extra movements, or turning them in for victory points or extra prestige to kind of help out all those negative points you're getting in the game. It is really smart, and other people can be diplomats and place people on your board and get extra victory points at the end of the game, determining on how many tiles you have on that row. So much going on in this game. This is another one that I see going for pretty cheap here and there, especially used. And as queen games go, you know what I'm going to say. I'm never going to argue that a queen games isn't worth it, because Liguria is definitely worth it, and that's why it's number 40 on my list. At number 39 is a game called Finca. Finca is a great rondel game where the petals, where you're moving around the rondel, are always different. You're shuffling them up and putting them differently around the game every round. And what you do is you get to move as many spaces as you have people on that certain petal, and then when you land on another space, you get that much fruit as there are people on there. So you're at least getting 1 because you're on there, but if 2 other people are on there, you're getting 3 of that type of fruit. And then with that fruit, you're cashing it in for contracts on the board. And you need certain amounts determining the number, but if you get all the numbers, I think it's 1 through 7, you'll get some extra victory points as well, which means you'll want to get those lower contracts, fulfill those lower contracts as well. But you can't always fulfill a contract. You need these like donkey tokens to fulfill that, and they're on either side of the track. So you have to keep going around that track to get some of the more of those delivery tokens. You do have some special one-time use icons that you can use in the game, bonuses you can use, or you can keep them for victory points at the end. There is like a mini expansion that I played with once, but we haven't played with lately. So I don't think it's that needed. And I think this game was getting a reprint last I heard, and I don't know what happened to that. If it's come out, I've missed the news on that. But Finca is a wonderful game. It's very beautiful. All those chunky wooden fruit pieces are just phenomenal to look at. And someone in my gaming group, this is beyond a doubt her number 1 game in my collection. She absolutely loves Finca. I think I get this request from her, oh gosh, every couple months or so, can we play Finca? Because she's just a big fan of it, and I am too. I mean, heck, it's high on my list at number 39. So yeah, Finca, great game. But if it doesn't have a reprint, it definitely needs one, and then you definitely need to pick it up. At number 38 is a beautiful game that I hear no one ever talk about called Pay Dirt. Pay dirt, you're up in Alaska digging for gold, man. And as you're doing this, there's always different things you're auctioning off. More land to drill on or to dig on to find that gold. You're also trying to get better equipment to help shift and dig and refine that gold you're getting. And then you're also you're trying to bid for more workers to help you do these certain actions. All three of those are very important, and you're going to need them all. You'll be bidding on maybe some flimsy little garbage mechanic that you can get for cheap. It'll burn out twice, and then you'll never use it again. You will always be going through equipment, it seems like always, or upgrading it better and better. Or maybe you're just trying to get tons of workers and to upkeep, because you can repair the equipment too, but that's almost like a waste of time using your workers. You can also send your workers to the store to sell the gold for money, because you will run out of money in this game. Of course, whoever has the most gold wins, but whoever has the most gold at the end of each round has to take the worst. There are these cards you have to play at the end, and the person who has the least amount of gold gets to pick first. Well, obviously, they're going to pick the least, the card with the least ramifications, or one that doesn't impact them at all. And a lot of times, being the first player, you're stuck with the worst card that hinders you from doing something and lowers there's a little temperature meter on the card, and if it's a 1, 2, or 3, you'll lower the temperature on the game board that many degrees. Once it gets to 0, that's the end of the game. Whoever has the most gold wins. I don't know why people pass over pay dirt. It's such a fun game as you're shifting those land tokens and flipping them over and hopefully getting some big gold. Depending on how nice the land is, you can get some great gold pieces off that. And there's also a store you can go get equipment too, side equipment, gear, I guess I should say, that will help you out in your quest for more gold. It's just a great game. That box is probably the sturdiest box in my collection. It is really thick, and I mean, you could hurt someone by throwing that at them. But pay dirt is so incredible, and I hear virtually no one talk about this. I know BGG has all the little promos that go with it. I bought all those, and it's just extra things you can bid on. I've shuffled them all into our piles there, and we just have a blast playing this game. It is so much fun. Definitely an underrated game. Pay dirt, my number 38. At number 37 is Desperados of Dicetown. This is a dice chucking game, kind of Yahtzee style. You can throw your dice up to 3 times and then take whatever actions are on that roll. Usually you have these, I believe it's 5 or 6 coasters. It's 5 coasters, a family of 5, and you're trying to turn the coasters up to where you eventually unlock them, get them down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 or whatever, and then flip them over for extra things you can do in the game. Really powerful moves you can do in the game, which is usually taking money from other people. Money is poker chips. So you're trying to be the first person to unlock all of your family members, all 5 of this gang, from jail, and then have the most money. Meaning, if you lose money, if you lose poker chips in the game, you better, and if you have everything flipped over, you won't win yet until you hit some other people and get rid of some of their poker chips too. The poker chips are basically cardboard chips, but you could replace these with actual poker chips. I think that'd make the game awesome. Ooh, I may upgrade this game now. Now that I think about that, this game is getting an upgrade now. This is such an incredible game, and it's the prequel to Dicetown, which, as you see, didn't even make my top 100 this year. I love this prequel even more. It's such a simple, easy game, and I cannot tell you. Another game that's super cheap. I don't think anyone gave it a second look, but you really should. Every time we play this game, we have the best time in the world. This is a game that just defies all odds and keeps rising up my list every year. I think this is the highest it's ever been on my top 100 before. But Desperados of Dicetown, woo! What a game. Well worth your time. You got to check that one out. We now interrupt this top 100 to give you the next Queen game on my list. It is at number 36, Queen's Architect. Ooh, Queen's Architect, you have your own personal rondel that you're moving your character around and completing certain actions on the board. Those actions could be just working wherever you're at and garnering a little money, or buying extra workers to put around your, you have this star where all these little octagon pieces fit and can rotate around. Or you could be maybe talking to the merchant and cashing in some of your I can't remember what they're called, King's Decrees for extra money, or just kind of making friends with them so you can cash in more of those the next time you go visit him. And of course, one of the most important actions in the game is building in the city you are and scoring some victory points. You can make those victory points, or you can cash them in for, little IOUs that you can turn in for money. Now, money you're definitely going to need, because like I said, money is used to buy more workers, and you need a lot of skilled workers in this game. But eventually you're going to start cashing those in for victory points, and it's already not predetermined. You have these little cardboard seals that you shuffle up and put on the board and then flip them over. Whatever the numbers are, those are the victory points you must have to skip to the next level. So for instance, if one says 7, you have to score at least 7 points in one of these cities. You can only build in each city once. So when you build in that city, if you scored 7 points, you can move to the next one. If the one above that was a 5 and you built in one city and got 13 points, well, then you can go up 13. Now, certain cities have a cap on how much you can build, how many points you can make, or a minimum, how much you must be able to make there, depending on how big the city is. There's, I think, small, medium, and large. But after a while, when you get to the tippy top, then you got to go straight back to the center of the game where you start again and become the queen's architect by building something for the queen at the end. And if you're able to do that, you win the game. What can I say? What more can I say about Queen games? Queen's Architect, I think right now you can get for $15 brand new, and I'm telling you, go pick it up. It's a phenomenal game. There's that word again I keep using, phenomenal, but it is a wonderful game, and you definitely should check it out. Queen's Architect, my number 36. I'm not done talking about Queen games. Oh, no, my friend, because at number 35 is Via Appia. Ooh, Via Appia, you're in Rome. I have a lot of roaming games now that I think about it, but you're building the road, I think, from Rome to somewhere else, or from a city to Rome, maybe. Either way, how you build that is pretty smart. You see, you take these cards and you can either get the money off of them or the stone. Eventually, as the cards the pickings get slimmer, you get both actions on the card. And then if you're the last person to pick one of those cards, you're going to get both actions plus a little extra bonus. Now, when you get those stones, they're these wooden discs. Then here comes the cool idea. You get to, instead of picking a card, you can put X amount of stones on a disc and push it. Like if you see those arcades where you throw a quarter in it and it pushes the quarters on the edge and those quarters are just about to fall off, that's exactly what the stones are doing. And when those stones fall off, determining on what type of stone it is, small, medium, or large, you're going to get that little wooden cardboard token that matches that. It's like pavement. Now you crush that stone into pavement now. And then you can place those on certain roads for victory points. Of course, the bigger ones will get you bigger victory points. But you don't all want big ones. You want to create a road from one town to the next, and then you have to start paying money to move down that road. Okay, and it goes on like that for a while. You can also get bonus points at the end of the game for having the most road pieces in each section, which you think wouldn't be important, but can garner you some great extra points. I played this with a buddy of mine. I believe it was last year around Christmas. This is one of the Queen games that, piqued his interest, and we had a great time. He did whoop me by about 8 points, I think. I can't remember. It may have been more. It may have been less. I don't remember. It was just a close game, but it's so much fun. Via Appia, that little push thing, that little push icon, because you can't slam it. It says that. It says you can't just slam it in there and shake a bunch of stones out. You just have to slowly push it in there. And sometimes you're just padding it, meaning I'll put maybe 2 or 3 little stones in there because I don't want to move anything yet, but on my next turn, I'm going to put a big stone in there and just have tons of those fall out. And that's eventually, if someone's going to be pushing those stones, there's going to be some people who just aren't going to get anything. That sucks, but that's the game there. Via Appia is another game I think you can get for pretty cheap. It's Queen games, which means it is excellence, and you should check it out. My number 35. Number 34 is a classic worker placement game that everyone should have in their collection, Stone Age. Of course, you're a caveman just basically going out or either playing in the city and upgrading your ability to farm or grow more, make more caveman, or go up on the trade track if you have the expansion or the new edition. I think the new edition has the expansion in it too. And then of course you're sending workers out along the area to gather resources to help feed your people or to help build huts and get extra victory points in the game. The game is just really fun. The pieces are amazing, whether you have the old edition or the new edition. The new edition is probably worth it because, like I said, it comes with the expansion inside of it, and then it comes with a winter board. You just flip it over to the same board, but in the winter. There is a Mammoth, I think it's Mammoth Herd mini expansion. I always will play with that. Any of the promos I throw in there too, but that Mammoth Herd is fantastic because it gives you a special bonus if you decide to go there this turn. It makes certain areas of the board a little bit more important. Places you probably wouldn't send someone to, but you kind of want to because I like that little herd bonus. I could use that this round. And I do enjoy this game. I think it's so much fun. I doubt it's going to get any more expansions because it's been out for so long and they just haven't thought of anything else. But it is an awesome game. If you love worker placement, you've never played the game Stone Age, you are missing out. What are you thinking? It's number 34 on my list. At number 33 is the highest rated game by Cosmos to be on my collection, and that is Mercado. Mercado is kind of a bag building game as you're digging into your bag, getting out coins, putting those coins on one of the four corners of one of these tiles, and then claiming that tile for some victory points that will move you around another board that you want to land on certain spaces to give you extra points or avoid certain spaces to get negative things in your bag. So you're not always going for the biggest scoring tile. You're going for one that will get you around certain areas or land on certain areas on the track. The other cool thing about this game is you can start the beginning of that track, the victory track, wherever you want to go, the score track. You can start wherever you want. Have all the players start in the middle or over there to the, a little bit into the front or wherever you want, because that way the game's always a little bit different. And it's smart because you're not, like I said, you're not always going for the biggest point tile because you'll land on the space you don't want to land on the tracker there. Oh man, what an incredible game. What an incredible game. I told this story when I reviewed it. Cosmos did not want to send it to me because they said, we're not promoting that game. I was like, why not? That game looks awesome. It turned out to be great. I did get the little promo tile that we played with, and it's fun, but not needed for the game. The game itself is really awesome. I think you can still get this game pretty cheap, and I absolutely love it. It's so fun to play, and like I said, they just made so much replayability in this game by determining where the start and finish will be on the score tracker. It's just phenomenal. Just phenomenal. Like I said, the game looks nice. The artwork's good too, but definitely out of all my collection of Cosmos games, I don't have that many, but Mercado is right there at the top, and it lands here on my list at number 33. At number 32 is a game I've had in my collection for many a year, and it just came out with another expansion recently. It's Stoackpile. Stoackpile, you are trying to buy and sell on the stock market, and you are given at random 2 cards that will tell you what a certain stock is going to be doing that round. So you have a little insider information. Do you sell now, or do you buy some more of that stock in hopes that it will rise up and be more and increase your portfolio? So, I never thought the stock market would be this fun. The base game alone is excellent. Excellent. If you want to get the second expansion for it, go ahead and get it. It's well worth it. I think they have a big box now that has everything in it, and that may be a good one to get too. The third expansion is, it's okay. It's okay. It's not like groundbreaking like the second expansion was, added a lot of nice features. The third one, I could take or leave it. There's also extra cards you can play with that give you special abilities in the game. I have them all, and I've never played with them. I don't know why, we just haven't. Just playing it plain Jane is just so much fun for us. I remember going to Gen Con when this game was just coming out. It was just hitting out on shelves there. And the guy at the table, there was no one playing the game, so I sat down and played around with him. I was loving it. Well, then he acted like, okay, you're done, leave. But there was no one else around the table. I was like, can I play one more round? And he's, you know, he wasn't interested in that. He's like, okay, and that's how the game's played. Now move along. I was like, wait, give me one more round. To be honest, if he would have let me finish the game, I probably would have bought a copy right then and there, because I was like, ooh, that was pretty fun. But I'd like to keep playing it. And I remember that was that game was the hotness in the library, and we couldn't get a copy of it. So later on, I think I played it from a buddy of mine or something, but decided to go ahead and buy it, and I've never regretted it. Stoackpile is just smiles are on everyone's faces when it comes out and hits the table, because everyone knows this game, and they know I'm a big fan of this game too. I think this is the lowest it's ever ranked on my list, though, now that I'm thinking about it. It's always been in my top 20 before, so maybe that underwhelming expansion was the cause of that, but either way, I still love Stoackpile. Excellent, excellent game. And finally, at number 31 is the game Sagrada. The translucent dice that you're making a most beautiful stained glass window with, where none of the colors can match, nor the pips on the die can match the dice that they are touching. Such a simple but smart game. It's come out with 3 expansions now. I have played with 2 of them. The third one I just got in as of this video, and I will be playing soon. So I can't wait, because the past 2 expansions that just keep enriching this game. Like, I will never play without all the expansions, and I bet the same will be the case when I play with this one too. They just come up with different, and I think they're coming up with another one. But this game is so smart, and they keep coming up with different ways and methods to play the game, and it's just awesome. You're selecting dice and then placing them on your board, and hopefully you're not going to have any colors match or any pip numbers match, and then complete your entire stained glass window, which is hard to do. It's impossible. I don't know if I've ever done that before. Maybe once or twice, but it's really hard to do. Now, there are ways to kind of cheat some of the rules in the game, but other than that, every time they make an expansion, it just makes the game that much better. That's why I'm trying to see, I can't see what the name is from way back here. Whatever the newest one is, I think it's Passion or something. I'm very interested, or Life, I think that's what it's called. I'm very interested to see what that expansion is going to have. I know it has some orange dice in there. I just opened it up like just now before doing this. I'm so excited about Sagrada. Sagrada, folks, believe the hype. That's just an awesome game. I, stuck my nose up in the air when I saw it. It's like, oh, whatever. This is not going to be that good. I stand corrected. Sagrada, excellent, excellent game. You've got to add this into your collection, especially if you love dice games. Well, they're not dice rolling games. You just need to add it because it's nice, and it's fun, and it's number 31. All right, folks, that's all I have time for today, but come back, and I'll review a few more games. See you later.